Today's episode of Bizjet TV, we're going to be talking about the near disaster that happened at Chicago Midway Airport, where a Boeing 737 Southwest Airlines was coming into land and a Flexjet Challenger 350 private jet crossed the runway in front of them. We were lucky here. It was a very good day. The weather was nice. Visibility was fantastic, and the Southwest Airlines pilots saw the Flexjet airplane crossing the runway, and they immediately pressed that tow-go button, the takeoff go-around button, and took the airplane back into the executing the go-around and saved the day. The question is, why was this private jet crossing the runway? Now, you've heard me say this on Bizjet TV, that the safety record in private aviation is 10 times worse than the airlines. And here we go again. We're seeing another situation where private jet did something dangerous. Whose fault was it? We're going to look at a number of things now in this video. But first of all, let's have a listen to what was going on between the Flexjet and air traffic control.
Flexjet 560, turn left on runway 4 left, cross runway 31 left, and hold short of runway 31 center.
Right, left on 4 left, cross 22 or 13 center, Flexjet 560.
Flexjet 560 negative, cross runway 31 left, hold short runway 31 center.
Cross 31 left, hold short 31 center, Flexjet 560.
Southwest 2504 going around.
2504, roger that, maintain 3000.
Flexjet 560, hold your position there.
2504 up to 3000.
Hold position, Flexjet 560.
Flexjet 560, continue across the hold short of hotel.
Cross the hold short hotel, Flexjet 560.
Flexjet 560, your instructions are to hold short of runway 31 center.
Plus 2504, unable, turn left heading 220.
Left heading 220, Southwest 2504.
Flexjet 560, hold right there, sir. Don't move.
Hold position 560.
That's Tower Southwest 2504. How'd that happen?
Very interesting to see that Flexjet Challenger 350 was told to hold short of runway 31 center. They got it wrong. They were corrected. So I don't know if in the pilot's mind he was still thinking that he could cross. Southwest Airlines was on the tower frequency while the Flexjet aircraft was on ground frequency. So they didn't actually hear each other because they're on two separate frequencies. Now that's a fault there in the way they run the system at Chicago Airport. That needs to be changed. So that's fault number one. Fault number two is the fact that they don't have stop lights near the runway, which they do in a lot of airports in Europe. Before a runway, there's a stop light, there's like a red light, and then when air traffic control allows the pilot to cross the runway, he will turn that light to green. That doesn't exist at Chicago Airport, so that's something that maybe they need to put in place to improve the airport. The blame here is on the Flexjet pilots, because before you cross a runway, you should actually look and tell the other pilot that it's clear and gives him a thumbs up before you actually cross. I was fortunate enough in my early days, I had a flight instructor whose grandparents had died in the famous Tenerife crash between the KLM 747 and a Pan Am 747, one of the worst disasters in aviation. Had the pilots said they were on the runway, this would have not have happened. Now, it was very foggy that day, so they saw each other last minute and they crashed into each other. This incident here, we're very lucky that the visibility was great, the weather was nice, so the planes saw each other. But you know, the Flexjet pilot should have been looking out the window, should have been checking the final and acknowledged that final was clear and tell the other pilot. But ultimately, the other pilot should have said, are we clear on the right? And that crew coordination, that crew dialogue, that crew communication should have been happening. Now, I don't know what the training is like in Flexjet. What I know, this kind of thing is very, very basic, and this is what the pilot should have been doing. So it'd be interesting to hear the cockpit voice recorder and hear what was going on. And maybe the pilots were tired, maybe they had argued, maybe the passenger was screaming in the back. Who knows what was going on that aircraft? And this is my whole point here. You have your own private jets. You control who you hire. You control how many pilots you have, how often they fly. You have a lot more control than when you're chartering or buying into these fractional shares. You don't know who these pilots are. Of course, the companies, every company, even all the charter companies will tell you their pilots are very well trained. They've got the best in the industry, blah, 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 blah. But I mean, why is it that the safety record is 10 times worse than the airlines? So this is what happened on this thing here. Great reaction on behalf of the Southwest Airlines pilots and the Flexjet pilots. Guys, you really need to be careful next time. Make sure you look out that window. make sure you check final before you cross the runway and signal to the other pilot who's doing the taxiing that, you know, clear right, clear left, whatever it is. That's really, really important when you're taxiing and especially when you're crossing a runway. The other thing my instructor told me, he said, when you're actually crossing a runway, say on the radio that you're crossing the runway. Puts a message out there to everybody that you're crossing a certain runway. So in this case, crossing runway 31 center. But unfortunately, they're on 2 different frequencies. That's just the thing out there for those pilots that are watching. Let's get the comments going here and check out this other video we did on should you be buying a private jet in 2025. That's all from Fabrizio here on BizJet TV, and I'll see you on the next one.